Alright, what's going on, everybody? Nick Ashley here. So I've finished up most of my scouting. There might be a couple other players that I end up watching, but for the most part, I have the guys that I want to watch, and I've gotten them done under the book. Which now leaves me with time to kind of break down the class as a whole, look at some of the unanswered questions I have of positions, and one of them happens to be the cornerback position. There are four really good corners this year. There's Caleb Farley, there's Patrick Surtain, there's Jaycee Horn, and then there's a fourth one that many of you guys may not know. His name's Kelvin Joseph. He's one of my favorites personally. But I don't know who's cornerback one. And the big question this year for me is deciding who cornerback one is. So I think I'm just going to look at one game from each of these guys. And if I see a play that I like or dislike, I'm going to highlight it and tell you why. And by the end of this video, my goal is to try and develop my opinion and choose who cornerback one is ultimately. And we're going to start with Caleb Farley here. This first play right off the bat. What we have to know about Caleb Farley is he's big and he's lengthy. He's 6'3" and he has long arms. Definitely has really good size to him. Off the bat, he's only played for 2 seasons. He opted out in 2020. Which anybody who opts out, I feel like you should have played another year. Unless you had like an immediate threat with COVID and whatnot, you could have played another year and you could have been a lot better. Examples like Greg Rousseau, even Caleb Farley show that you should have better tape. It would really cement you as a number one player in your class or in your position group. Caleb Farley is an example of one of these, but here we check out his speed and his instincts here. This guy's going to run just a little hitch. He comes down, he sells Caleb Farley and turns his hips outside, and then he slows down, right? But Farley's able to recover really quickly. Watch how his feet chop here. And you'll see here, watch how his feet chop. Right there, he chops, he breaks down, and comes back to the ball. If that receiver's ended up getting the ball, he would not be maximizing gain or potentially even an incompletion here because of how quickly Farley was able to recover. His instincts kicked in quick, and he was able to get back to the ball. That's great. That's a great first play that I like to see from Caleb Farley. Now, I love this play right here. It's just going to be a simple slant from your wide receiver. He's going to run like that. Caleb Farley does a great job of reading it, reacting to it, and breaking on to make the pass breakup. That shows good ball skills. And let's check it out here. So he's going to stay put, feel the break. He's going to go move inside of him. He's going to get the target. But look how Caleb Farley here uses his length to be able to get inside and bat this ball down. Really good. He doesn't have great leverage to begin with because he's on the outside and it's going in, but he has those arms that are able to get the ball and get in there and take the ball out. That's awesome. That's what we like to see from our corners, being able to break quickly on the ball, recognize it, and get in there. Great play. Great job. Right, and this is where we talk about Caleb Farley. His recovery speed not being too mechanically sound. This receiver is going to do a really good job of running a wheel route. We'll watch it and then I'll break it down. He's going to come upfield and then just break out right that. Farley sells it and then he stops a little bit like a comeback. He stops a little bit, he sells it to Farley and he gets upfield. And Farley's able to stop the play. I don't know where the ball went because it's a little zoomed out, but Farley does a good job of recovering, being within a step, and then he's going to be able to get on that receiver and stop him. So let's go back and look at this in a little bit more in depth. And we're going to run the stem. Caleb Farley breaks or flips his hips. That's where the receiver knows where he can make a move and try and mess with Farley in the leverage and positioning game, right? So he's going to do exactly that. He's going to break out, kind of stutter. Caleb Farley takes the bait. I'd like to see him be a little bit more disciplined. If he's going out, kind of just float right here with your hips staying square rather than turning right into him, because then that's going to happen. If your hips are staying square, you can just flip right up and you're not going to have to recover there. It's a really hard route to defend. The wheel route is very hard. But he does a good job of being able to read and react quickly. I just like to see a little bit better technique and mechanics here, and that is a big knock on Farley. A lot of times in press man, he doesn't use his hands, and he doesn't use his hands here really, especially at the top of the route, because the quarterback hasn't let go of the ball. It's legal to get a little handsy with him, as we'll see a little bit later, but it's just a pretty solid job recovering from here. He's a couple steps behind him when he first makes that break upfield again, right here. He's going to be, if this is a really fast wide receiver, he's going to be down here real quick before Caleb Farley's like right here. That's a good amount of separation. Even right here is a really good amount of separation. But Farley's able to recover quickly and get right back on him and cause that incompletion or disrupting the pass if it comes downfield to him. All right, and one thing I noticed when Caleb Farley, he gets a little over-eager when he thinks the receiver's selling a route upfield, but he can also recover quick, and this is a great example of it. We'll go back to the start here. This receiver gets a long stem going upfield, and then he stops right there. Farley opens his hips up and a little bit overcommits to the deep route, but he's able to chop his feet and come back pretty quick, and is very aggressive in trying to get upfield to take out this pass and end up getting the pass breakup. I like that a lot. And you see that a lot with Caleb Farley. You see his ball skills come up. We saw it earlier with that one slant, and we see it again here. He has good ball skills and good instincts and good awareness. He just overcommits a little bit, and that kind of reflects back again on his mechanics, and we'll try and get into that later if I can find an example. But just right there, really solid job of recovery, but he could be in a much better position to start with, you know what I'm saying? And this is a big example for me of Farley being able to overcommit a little bit and getting broken up by the receiver. This is a good stamina route from this receiver. He's going to come up, sell outside, make Farley go outside, and then go in a little bit. That's going to force Farley to flip his hips back inside. Especially this early in the stem, you're going to kind of want to stay still here. Keep staying square to the line of scrimmage in your back pedal, so if he does end up breaking in, you can easily just go like that. But if he ends up breaking out at about 5, you can go up with him and play it like that. Farley does a solid job of that, but at the same time, he overcommits outside pretty quick, and then has to move back inside. And he looks a little bit hesitant when he does it. And we'll watch it right here. He kind of just staggers there for a second. And it looks like he's unsure about it, right? I don't want my corner to be unsure. I want him to be disciplined and do a better job. And that just comes with experience in the position. He's only played for the position for 2 years, and that surely comes with it. But he has to improve there a little bit. And again, we don't see much hand usage here until the top of it, where he has to keep up stance right there. So I'd like him to be a little bit more physical here, feel out the route, and be able to flip his hips properly. All right, our next guy that we're looking at is going to be Patrick Surtain. The very highly touted defensive back out of Alabama, and here he is against Florida. What we liked about Patrick Surtain is his size. Again, 6'2", very long arms, but he's more of a technique guy rather than a speed guy, which is in contrast to Caleb Farley. And here I think is a really good example. This is going to be a touchdown against him, and we'll get into that. But what I like to highlight first here is how he gets hands on him first, right? He's going to start feeling out the route, and as well as being able to jam this receiver at the same time. Then he's going to take off, flip his hips, moves really well with this little stutter step. He mirrors really well there. I like to see that. We'll rewind it to see and watch it again. He mirrors it really well as the receiver starts to slow down. He gets there and slows his feet down, and then he's able to get out and turn his head really well to the ball. But he ultimately doesn't get it just because it's a really good throw, and we'll look at that again. But what he does well here is he turns his head. He plays really well with technique and mirror, and is able to get upfield and find the ball at least. Not really good at the back end to allow that touchdown, and we'll watch it here. But it's a really good throw. We'll check it out here. Really only where this number 8 receiver can get it, really high over Surtain's head, but Surtain needs to do a better job of being able to recover and tackle like that quicker. The big thing with Surtain here is you can tell when he gets a little panicked. He plays a lot of zone coverage. Alabama plays a lot of zone coverage across the board. So a lot of times you're going to see Patrick Surtain lining up like this or lining up right here and then backing out, which usually signifies he's going to back out and go deep in a cover 2 or a cover 3 look. And he does that exactly right here, and he has to bust his ass to get back here because he's at the 5 and he has to be at least at the 10 to 15 and 20. And we'll see it right here. Again, he's keeping it. He sees this receiver coming up the middle and wants to be there to defend it. And has to bust ass, but a lot of the times you see him back out before that happens. And whether that's the lack of speed or whether that's just to be careful and that's what he's been taught, we don't really know. But you can definitely tell when he feels a little bit uncomfortable here is definitely a good example. And here we really see his availability and ability to play both coverages, both man and zone. Caleb Farley does the same thing. I just didn't highlight it this much. I love this play right here. It just shows off his nuance and technique. Comes off the line, he immediately off the snap, he puts his head to the receiver. I think this is Kyle Pitts. And he's going to stay mirrored. He's going to mirror him for the second, and then when he churns upfield about 5 yards, roughly, I mean, we'll see where he's at. Right here, yeah. So roughly 3 to 5 yards, I think. He's going to be able to churn up field a little bit. Yeah, 3 yards. And he does a really good job of staying with him, keeping his arm on him, as we see right there. We'll slow it down here for a second. He puts his arm like right here on his hip to kind of keep up with him, and if he feels a change in pace or a change in the break, he's going to recognize that and be able to slow down. I like it a lot. I like the mirror technique, and I like the ability to flip his hips and get upfield pretty quick with his eyes on him, and then he's going to turn his eyes to the quarterback to see where the ball's going. Solid play by Surtain. Here's a really good example of what Surtain can do with his ball skills. He's going to be on Kyle Pitts here. In zone coverage, right, he's going to turn his hips, and he's going to recognize where the ball is going and break on it really quick, and is able to cause a pass breakup right here. I really like that play because he's going to break, recognize right there, break, and then get into Kyle Pitts and interrupt this catch. Now, I think this is probably cover 2 because we have two deep guys right here, and then Surtain cover 3, excuse me. 2 deep guys right here, and then Surtain would have been the third here. But he recognized the route as a comeback or a deep pitch on Pitts' part. Is going to break on it really well there. I like that. All right, so our third guy is going to be Kelvin Joseph, one of my favorite prospects in the draft. Kentucky cornerback number 1. He's going to be at the top of your screen here. And what Kentucky does is they play a lot of zone, both cover 2 and 3. So you're going to see a lot of his zone reps from Kelvin Joseph, but don't get it twisted. His quickness is great. His ball skills are great. His coverage ability in both man and zone are really good. He's going to be a stud. And this play just goes to show that. The instincts here. He's going to have what looks to be more of like a cover 3 look because we have this guy right here, and then Kelvin Joseph bailing out. But what he does really well is he keeps his eyes in the backfield, right, reading the play, and then he's going to turn his eyes to this receiver who's running vertical very clearly, and he's going to be able to get on him. Just very natural. It doesn't really result in anything, but I like the feel of that. I like that he's aware of where this receiver is and where he's going to have to cover. Is aware of his zone and knows where to play with solid leverage and whatnot in his zone. I like that. And this isn't the best look for Kelvin Joseph. He's at the bottom of your screen now. He's going to bite really hard on a hitch and go. But I like to show this play because the recovery speed on it, and also that his instincts can be a little over-aggressive at times. Let's watch. He's going to keep his eyes in the backfield. Kind of see him fake this way, so he's moving up. Classic just biting on that. But this receiver, I don't even know if he's running a hitch and go. He might just be running a stutter step right here. No, he ran a hitch and go. Okay. So what Kelvin Joseph does here is he bites on it a little too hard, but then let's watch the recovery speed. He picks it up really quick and is able to get down the field pretty quick and recover some of that lost space. I mean, this is a really good amount of separation. Right there is kind of the extent of it. He's going to recover really well up there, regardless of whether or not that corner ended the route off. Or the receiver, excuse me. But still, bites a little bit too hard, but then he reacts really quick when he sees the corner or the receiver moving this way. He busts his ass, and it has to get down there. Solid recovery speed, though. This is a really nice play because Kelvin Joseph's playing more of a safety position here because there's nobody on his side to play. And I haven't really touched on a lot of these guys being able to make plays with as a tackler. Patrick Surtain does a really good job of that. Caleb Farley not so much. But Kelvin Joseph right here really surprises me because I graded him out as not a great tackler here. But this is a really good play from him. He's inconsistent though. That's the thing. But again, really good play of recognizing the ball, recognizing where it's going. And being able to come down on the read and then find it and then key in on it really quickly. I mean, he does not fall for the fake that hard and is able to get outside, keep outside, force him outside where the boundary is, and then be able to make a tackle right there. I like that. Now this is the upside of Kelvin Joseph that I've been waiting to see this whole game. He's going to come into press man coverage right here. Really solid, does not get impatient and commit somewhere. Once this receiver breaks out, he's going to break as well, get his hands on him, right? Really good press man, turns his head right at the right time and finds the ball and is able to get a pass breakup one way or another. I like that play a lot. Refs are going to throw flags on it. I don't care. That's a good play. And he's going to be able to get his head back. Nice play. I mean, I don't think that's PI. He had his hands inside a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, he was just in the way of the pass. Still, really good job, press man coverage, mirroring, flipping his hips, keeping contact, and being able to flip his head around and get that ball. This is another game. This is Georgia. I love this play from Kelvin Joseph. Let's check it out. Does not maintain a lot of contact, but he has the speed to keep up with his receiver. Turns his head right at the right moment, and the ball skills, right? He's going to come off and find the interception. I like that a lot. Being able to turn his head and then not only just sit there and not let the ball get to the receiver, but to also come back and find the interception. That's really good ball skills, and he shows that on a pretty consistent basis. Really good play right here. Just a great example of that, of being able to find the ball, locate it, and then reel it in for the interception. That's big for your team. And then again, a really solid man coverage snap right here, where he stays up with his receiver, does not get too physical with him, but at the same time is physical at the top of the route right here to contest the pass a little bit, and then comes back and gets that interception. Really nice. And then here's my final play where I really want to show off Kelvin Joseph's ball skills. Against Alabama and Devontae Smith, the only man to pick off Devontae Smith. Or Mac Jones, I guess, when he's thrown to Devontae Smith. But Josh Mechie and Devontae Smith are here in bunch, kind of. This guy's going to get probably the first inside threat, I'm guessing. Yeah, he's going to take Mechie in the first inside threat, and then this guy's Smith is going to come up. That's where Joseph comes in. He flips his hips well, keeps his eyes on the corner, or their quarterback, and then once he gets into his route, he keeps his eyes on Devontae Smith. He's able to move upfield with him, get a little bit of contact, run with him, turn around, and position himself in a way where he can get that ball. Not a lot of corners can do that. Being able to use smart positioning here and get behind in front of Devontae Smith to be able to get that interception and return it for a little bit more yardage. I like that play a lot. Really solid play from Kelvin Joseph. All right, so our fourth and final cornerback is Jaycee Horn, the South Carolina defensive back. Again, very aggressive player, really good player. I like him a lot. Again, when I come to these guys, these guys are all first-round players for me. Let's just make it clear. There's no in or out. There's no round difference in round grades. I think all these guys are capable of going in the top 32. I'm attempting to show why and who's better, and we'll get to that later. But here's Jaycee Horn, known for being very physical and very grabby, which could cause problems at the NFL level, but he just does a lot more that I think should be shown. And here we go on a slant with this receiver at Florida. He's just going to watch the ball skills here. It's going to be a PI, but watch the ball skills here. Comes back, flips his hips really quick, recognizes it, gets in there, and is able to get the pass breakup. I love this play. He's going to be able to flip his hips quick. It's a little bit of PI. I mean, it's light. It's not overly pass interference. He's just putting his hands on him a little bit to stop that arm, so it is pretty bad pass interference. But regardless, he still is able to go and make a play on the ball. I like that play a lot. I love this play from Jaycee Horn. He's just going to be able to mirror him really well. That's a really good thing that Jaycee Horn does well, is being able to mirror his receiver and keep up with him. And then he's going to get grabby at the end and jam him at the top of the route. Even though it's not really going to him, it's more of a run to this way. He still does a really good job doing that because he's just going to be running around. And he's going to end up getting hands on him and get off the block and try and get downfield. I just really like how he mirrors it. Let's take another look. I love the quickness to it, right? Stop a little right there. He's going to slow his feet down and then keep moving. And then when he feels confident, he's going to turn his hips. I like that a lot. Right here we see him play a little bit against a more shallow wheel route. This guy's going to run out and up. But what Jaycee Horn does well here is he's going to feel it out with his hands, which is what Jaycee Horn does best. Let's check it out. He's going to get hands on right here, and then as he's turning upfield, he's going to stay there. And that allows him to maintain the lack of separation that you need to get that ball out. I like that play a lot from Jaycee Horn. Shows what he can do, because that's not pass interference. That's just being physical and being a good corner. And we saw Caleb Farley fall victim to it. I think we saw Patrick Surtain as well early on. And I like him being a little bit more aggressive. That's exactly what we talked about when Caleb Farley got beat on it. Keep your hips a little bit more square and keep your hands right. His hips are right here square, and then he's going to turn upfield and be able to move with the corner or with the receiver, like that. I like that. All right, so in conclusion of this long video, to answer the cornerback question, it's a very complex one this year. You got a lot of really high talent on the board. I think these four corners are destined for at least being a starter in the NFL level. We don't know how well they're going to succeed until they get to their situation. But all four of them really show a lot of promise, and it's really hard to pick between them. If I were to pick between them, and this is not in stone, this is in pencil, and we're going to erase it a lot, and we're going to go over it and erase it a lot like we have the last 4 months. If it wasn't Stone, or if I was picking right now, Caleb Farley would be my cornerback 1. Based on his tape, the fluidness as an athlete, and the ability to have those instincts to come in and make plays on the ball, I really like that. You can teach mechanics, you can't teach speed. And at the end of the day, Caleb Farley needs some help with his mechanics. There were some plays that were not great, and especially not just in the Wake Forest game. Elsewhere, there were a lot of plays like that. But he has that potential, I think, to be a very good corner on the next level. Next, it's a very hard dogfight between Jaycee Horn and Kelvin Joseph. I love Kelvin Joseph, and I have since I watched him. But I also like Jaycee Horn a lot. He's grown on me the last couple days, so both of those guys are in contention to be corner 2. I haven't quite decided that yet, but at cornerback 4, I'm probably gonna have to go Surtain. There are just times when he just does not look natural, and it's kind of surprising because his dad was a DB, and he seems like he should be hypothetically the most natural defensive back out of all 4 because he's been in the defensive back world the longest since he was born. But there are times when he plays really well. I love his play, and there are times where he feels a little uncomfortable and where he feels like he doesn't know what he's doing, and he has to rely on bailing out early rather than keeping up with his speed. But that's just for now. It could change a lot later, and we'll have to get into that as we get in draft time and I put out all my positional rankings. But if you guys enjoyed this video, I know it was a long one, so if you stuck with me to the end, very salute to you guys. Make sure to drop a comment or something. Let's just drop who's your cornerback 1. Let me know in the comments if you've made it this far. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'll be back next week, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.